I just said, whatever, I'll do it. And I got my students who I was advising through stuff. And it turns out one of the students applied for advising. Oh, you got it. Good for you. Sarah. So, so anyway, I emailed my students and I moved them for advising back to the swap. And I blasted through it. There's your little chat. There's a lot of stuff. And so I got done with 10 weeks. Stickers, right?
Today, I'm came over and said, we need like 2 interns for people for jobs.
Yeah.
Then yesterday I had some, yeah, I just yesterday. Like our students are, we don't have enough students for the jobs that are available right now, which is good,
Yeah.
but bad.
Yeah, it means that you have unfilled positions.
Yeah. We need students to graduate.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this is what happens. They say hard to
Right, and what'll have to happen is they'll get really, really good salaries. They'll have to pay. They'll be doing it, so they'll pay more. And so that generally, when you hear about that, that starts to draw. It starts to draw the program, and eventually that starts to get you to where you can hire more faculty to expand, capacity. And So I'm going to invoke a Ford level fiat and announce that it's officially 2 o'clock right now. Hello? Can we wrap? Can we wrap? Can I get more volume out of this? Can I get some feedback squeal? No. All righty. All right, welcome to the final assembly meeting of the 2013-2014 academic year. And so I'd like to call us to order. And our first item of business is to approve the minutes. And so the minutes were placed up on the Faculty Senate site a little while ago. And presumably we have all read them. And if there are any comments or corrections to the minutes, we'll entertain them now. Actually, I think we have to have a motion to approve the minutes. All right, thank you. So it's moved and seconded by Rosalie and Pete. All right, are there any corrections to the minutes? All right, hearing no corrections, all in favor of approving the minutes as written signify by saying aye. Those opposed signify by saying nay. All righty, the minutes have passed. The next order of business is an election of the Assembly President. And so I was elected to fill out the second year of the previous President, Laura Smith Olin's term. So we now have rolled around again to where we have to elect a president for the full 2-year term. And since I'm the Committee on Committees nominee, I'm going to turn the meeting over to the Vice President of the Assembly, which is the Provost, Zulma Toro.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to open the nominations for the President, Faculty Senate President position for the term that starts on academic year 2014-2015 and will end in academic year 2015-2016. Are there any nominations? Well, okay, we have a motion and has been second. I think that we can move forward with the approval of the motion. Those in favor of electing Andrew, accepting the nomination by acclamation, say aye. Aye. Those against? Well, congratulations.
And obviously don't walk too far away. Thank you very much for your support. And so the next item on the agenda is the remarks by the Provost. So I would like to turn the microphone back over to the Provost for her remarks.
Again, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here with you celebrating a remarkable year for the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. Thank you to you all for coming this afternoon to this celebration. Yes, it has been a remarkable year, and we can write that with all capital letters. With your hard work and dedication, you have proven that it's possible to change the organizational structure of an institution of higher education in 14 months. You may think it has been an entire lifetime, but it has been only a year and 2 months since we started the journey of reinventing UALR, and 1 more month than that since I arrived at the institution. Chancellor Anderson did not tell me before I signed my offer letter that he was going to make me work like crazy. In fact, I will have to conclude that there is a common characteristic shared by the Arkansans who have been my bosses. Both of them, Chancellor Joel E. Anderson and Chancellor John A. White, the former chancellor of that other institution in the state, have been the two individuals who have asked me to almost make miracles happen. But my colleagues, you have saved me. The miracle that is unfolding in front of our eyes could not have happened without you. Thank you very much. It's very important for me today to express my gratitude to you for your creativity, commitment, dedication, and hard work. Thank you for moving us closer to being one of the top metropolitan community engaged research universities among the 16 member states of the Southern Regional Education Board. The names you have seen scrolling on the screen since you entered the auditorium are faculty who won college and university excellence awards and faculty who received tenure and or promotions this year. In reading all of the information about these individuals, I was astounded by what an excellent faculty we have and how honored I am to be your provost. My sincere congratulations to all of you. Speaking of faculty excellence, for those of you who missed the Faculty Excellence Awards ceremony, I had to break the news to the audience that my staff in the provost's office was not successful in the attempt to get the right technology to help me go from a Puerto Rican accent to an Arkansan accent. However, by now, most of you are used to that aspect of my personality. But today, people here at UALR are asking for something else. They are asking for the hurricane and tornadic winds to stop or at least to slow down. Yes, they have shared with me and some of my colleagues that in the last 15 months they have experienced the hurricane and tornado force winds of change that this Puerto Rican who stopped in Kansas before arriving at Little Rock has brought to UALR. In fact, even my sister, who is in Puerto Rico, has heard these pleas. Therefore, I am happy to announce that both the hurricane and tornado are almost over, at least for the time being. This truly has been an extraordinary year in many ways, and I want to briefly comment on several initiatives, in particular, and how we are making progress in the accomplishment of our vision and commitment to our students and our noble institution. My goal with showing the timeline from academic year 2013-2014 to academic year 2020-2021 is for us to realize how long we have to accomplish UALR's vision. Today, I will briefly review the main highlights of the current academic year and set the stage for what is coming next year. One of the main highlights of academic year 2013 was the approval by Chancellor Anderson of a comprehensive structure for academic affairs. One in which student affairs and academic affairs has been brought together to better support the minds, the body, the soul, and the hearts of our students. one in which we can support our students' needs from different angles, using different approaches by creating a partnership between faculty and professional staff experts in student affairs. Also, it is important to mention that this comprehensive structure will allow us to consolidate all data-related efforts under one office, facilitating coordination, common language and definitions, and the ability to leverage resources for increased efficiencies. At the end of the day, we will have better quality data available when it is needed in order to make informed decisions. By now, we are all aware that on July 1st, 2014, UALR will go from an academic structure that includes 6 colleges and 1 school to one with 5 colleges and 1 school. To all the individuals who have been part of the process that has taken us to where we are, my big, heartfelt thanks. They have been champions and innovators. The transition teams who have been working since last October deserve special recognition for the thoughtful leadership and the long hours they have invested in getting the organizational and administrative structure of the new colleges, as well as the governance documents, ready to start their operation. The operational task force has had a key role in this process as well. The search committees responsible for identifying the 5 new academic leaders for UALR have reviewed literally hundreds of applications in a matter of a few weeks. I pass on my gratitude to them as well. It is unbelievable that we have already scheduled the visits for finalists in 3 out of the 5 positions we are searching for. It is my pleasure this afternoon to make public the 3 finalists for the position of Dean of the College of Arts, Letters, and Sciences. This is the first time we make these names public. We will make an announcement to the community this afternoon. All of them are serving or have served as Dean of Colleges similar to our new college. By now, you may already know the finalists for the College of Education and Health Professions Dean position. In this case, again, we have an experienced group of individuals. They are currently serving as interim or permanent deans. In the case of the finalists for the position of Dean of the graduate school, 2 of the candidates are currently serving in a similar capacity. If you would like to review the application materials for all these candidates, I invite you to visit the web pages we have dedicated for each one of the searches. The web address is ualr.edu/academics. The menu on the left side contains links to. You should also know that following the recommendations of the transition team, we are moving forward with the selection of interim associate deans for the new colleges. These will be 1-year appointments. Nominations for these positions are being accepted until tomorrow. So far, a total of 21 individuals have been nominated for 6 positions. They will be receiving letters from me between today and tomorrow. Another big initiative that has also consumed the time and minds of a dedicated group of faculty members during the current academic year is the implementation of the core curriculum. As of April 15, 2014, the Core Council has approved 13 courses to be included in the core. As you know, we have a deadline of January 2015 to get our core curriculum in place. One of our main concerns during the last few years has been the decline in our graduate enrollment. Experience tells us that big challenges, most of the time, need big and out-of-the-box solutions. That is what Paula is, interim vice provost for research and dean of the graduate school, has done with this initiative. She hired a consultant who is helping with the development of the applicant pool to the graduate school. It is exciting for me to report that as of April 21st, 2014, we have seen a 75.8% increase in application versus last year at the same time. It is now our responsibility to convert these applications to enrollment. But there is another piece of good news associated with this matter. The quality of these applications seem to be higher than our typical applicant to the graduate school if we measure it based on how long the applicants take to submit the required paperwork. So there is hope. This year, we have been working at making student success everyone's responsibility, including me. If UALR is going to achieve its vision, student success must be our top priority. Many initiatives have and are being implemented, but in this slide you have a sample of the good work our colleagues are involved with. A number of you, in fact, at least 13 faculty and 3 staff have been working tirelessly to develop a decision support system aimed at demonstrating UALR's academic, economic, and societal impact. The support system will also facilitate decisions by faculty, staff, and administrators. This is UALR Quality Initiative Project, which will also serve as an alternative pathway to the Higher Learning Commission reaccreditation. 3 groups are involved in the quality initiative: the metrics group, the systems group, and the analytics group. The metrics group has been working at identifying a set of metrics which will be shared with the university community at the beginning of the fall 2014 semester. An additional outcome of this project will be the implementation of the data warehouse for UALR. Having a data warehouse and addressing our data quality issues should take us to a place where we'll be able to get consistent numbers whenever we ask for data. That will be a new experience for us. The last UALR's accomplishment I would like to share with you this afternoon is in the area of research. Last year, we opened the Emerging Analytics Center that was made possible due to the generosity of the Donaghy Foundation. They continue to support UALR and the area of data visualization and big data by helping us bring to our campus the first Arkansas Research Alliance Scholar, who will also hold the title of Donaghy Distinguished Professor. This internationally recognized researcher, entrepreneur, and innovator will join us on July 1st, 2014. UALR has experienced financial and budgetary challenges during academic year 2013-2014. But despite this reality, we continue to make strategic investments in critical areas or areas of growth and demand. Here we have 17 areas in which we have hired or we are in the process of hiring faculty or personnel to support the educational experience offered to our students. This year, we identified 2 priorities to work on as we strive to accomplish our vision: development of UALR's additional unique areas and increasing our enrollment to 20,000 students by year 2020. Quite a bit of effort has gone into defining 6 strategies to develop UALR's additional unique areas. The table on the screen shows the status of the work associated with these strategies. As you can see, for the most part, this is still work in progress. The strategies focusing on achieving an enrollment of 20,000 by the year 2020 are presented here. Again, this is still a work in progress and will continue next year. The engineer in me likes to plan. Sometimes that drives my family and those close to me with other academic backgrounds nuts. So, given that I am your provost and you do not have any other choice this afternoon, I am going to summarize for you our plan for next year. It includes 13 major initiatives that in one way or another support the P to the fourth I model I shared with you last fall. Here are two big initiatives that will impact all of us. Let me say a few words about the Honors College and the work of the exploratory, or as they wanted to call themselves, Dream Task Force, who was chaired by Laura Smoller, a multi-division group of 10 members who submitted to me a case statement yesterday that is a masterpiece. The report I got is a roadmap for whoever will be responsible to create the college. It also will serve the Chancellor, Bob Dyman, and me for fundraising purposes. To this outstanding group, thank you for a job well done. Most of the initiatives in this slide are aimed at increasing enrollment, enhancing student success, and expanding community engagement opportunities for faculty and students. These initiatives are aimed at increasing enrollment and student success. The first two initiatives in this slide are focused on making the educational experience we offer to our students unique, but also at creating an environment for faculty that will foster the type of programs and collaborations that will distinguish UALR from the competition. The last two initiatives for next year are focused at strengthening our financial position, which in turn will allow us to do the things we value and we enjoy. My friends and colleagues, I hear you. You are ready for the summer break. But while you are away from UALR for a couple of months, remember what the main character of the novel Don Quixote de la Mancha by Miguel de Cervantes told his friend Sancho. Deja que los perros ladren, Sancho amigo. Es señal que avanzamos. Please join me in advancing UALR closer to its vision. Give me the pleasure of telling you, my friends, let the competition bark at us. That is signal we are making progress. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those remarks, and hopefully we'll start seeing things move forward in the coming year. And so now our next item on the agenda is the Chancellor, who will give us some remarks.
I don't know about you, but in that final quotation on the screen there, I did not see a clear reference to UALR, but apparently there's one there that just did not meet the eye. I'm impressed. Well, this has been a pivotal year for UALR, and I congratulate the Provost on her leadership of restructuring. Andrew, congratulations on your re-election, certainly a vote of confidence in your leadership of this body and of the Faculty Senate. And I also take the occasion to congratulate those of you who've reached the important milestones of tenure, promotion in your academic career, and then those of you that were recipients this year of Faculty Excellence Awards congratulations to you. All of you do us proud. I trust that in terms of restructuring, you do see light at the end of the tunnel. I do, and I commend you, so many of you in the room today, for your service on the legions of task forces. That's probably from Cervantes too, you know, legions of task forces that have been associated with that. And I really am very appreciative of the seriousness, the dedication that people all across campus have shown in working through the implementation of restructuring this year. There are more good parts of it to come. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to see what's apparently a class document recommending an honors college. It's certainly a happy thing, I think, in our future, and so many other things that were anticipated there in the provost presentation. There's going to be much good payoff from what we've been doing in restructuring. Not only are we going to protect our existing strengths, but we're also going to see vitality in some new areas, and certainly increased vitality in other areas that have been important to us for a long time, and I mean more than just student success, although that's sort of the top of the list at this point in time. But I look forward to the enhanced emphasis on interdisciplinary programs. I don't need to elaborate that, but that's so important given the changes that take place in knowledge, the complications that are becoming so characteristic of civilization in these days. So, and having better data systems, as the provost mentioned there, that's also exciting. Colleges are going to be not only restructured, but they're going to be new leaders. Many things that will make it an interesting and exciting year. We're going to be a stronger university, better positioned to serve and to prosper in the future. I'll comment on just a few major topics as we look forward to next year, and let me first deal with the one that is so controlling of everything else, and that's the budget. This year we've had significant budget challenges. Next year promises to be more of the same. Because of the enrollment decline, we made a major budget cut right after the fall semester began, and we put in place a semi-hard hiring freeze that continues in effect. And I want to thank you, all of you in this room, for the way that you have responded to that, because given the way that people have responded, our students really have been minimally affected by that, and that's due to your doing your job in a good way in lean times that have significantly affected us all, and some people have in fact just been outright burdened by it. But nonetheless, you've soldiered on, and our students have hardly been affected by it. There are two unknown variables at the moment that will very much affect and determine what we face next year in terms of budget. The first of these is the tuition level that the Board of Trustees sees fit to approve next month when they have their May meeting. And the board is much more an activist board these days, and the chair of the board, the chair of the committee that deals with those issues have been putting a lot of time in on it, and the matter has not settled out yet, and I don't expect it to for another couple of weeks until we get close to that. But that level will be very, very significant for us this year because we find ourselves in a very tight situation. The second is fall enrollment, and of course we won't know that until we get to the fall, but we're hopeful that our enrollment will at least be level. Those figures for graduate applications, those are quite encouraging, but I heard the provost say that we've now got to produce the yield. We've got to get those who have applied processed. If you're in the processing chain, please be attentive to that. Time is often important in those decisions, and let's do all we can to move those from applications to enrollees who show up here in August. And all of these things work together in various ways. I'm anxious for the budget to settle out, and it's going to be a while before that happens. But I can tell you this, that we're trying real hard. Let me remind you that last year Classified employees received a modest raise, but non-classified employees, which is a category that includes faculty, did not. Well, this year we're working real hard to try to be in a position, depending on what the board does, to give non-classified employees a modest raise, although the governor has already made the determination about raises for the classified employees. But that's all yet to settle out. But in any event, that's so where things are at the moment. One of the big issues on everyone's mind, and it's going to continue to be for some time, is eVersity. The UA system is proceeding with that new online initiative called eVersity. And I want to reiterate that there are many details about how eVersity will operate and what our relationship with it will be that are simply not known at this time. I can assure you I'm not withholding information from you that would be interesting or that would be helpful. And it's going to be a while, I suspect, before many of those answers do fall out of the planning as the system moves forward on that. As I said in my comments to the Board of Trustees, though, at the Fort Smith meeting back in March, that our online enrollment is very significant to us, and in part because of our experience in that area, we have a great deal to offer, but we also have a great deal to lose, depending on how things develop and how they are done. So eVersity is presenting a challenge and an opportunity for us, and while we will work cooperatively and constructively, I think that's very important, in the development of eVersity, we have legitimate concerns about its potential impact on UALR that we are going to keep in the forefront of that activity. In the meantime, let me just make a couple of concrete suggestions for us that I think would strengthen our position going forward, regardless of how eVersity shapes up. First, I would urge that we continue to develop and strengthen our campus-based online courses and programs. There's going to continue to be a demand for such programs well into the future. So let's do what we can to stay abreast of the developments in learning technology. Let's master that changing technology and make our existing offerings better, and then add to them in whatever ways that we can. Second, I would urge that we make a push for more online graduate programs and certificates. They are more likely to target the needs of professionals, and that means that the students that would enroll in those are already college graduates. They have a maturity level that can be very helpful in terms of succeeding in an online course. And not only can the audience be targeted, but the size of the program is smaller. It simply makes it more manageable if you're talking about 30 or 36 hours as opposed to a whole undergraduate curriculum. One of our great burdens, and it's not going to go away, but that doesn't mean we can't do anything about it, is the perception that UALR is not a safe campus. So some comments on that. As many of you, perhaps all of you know, about a year ago, Dr. Jeff Walker and a committee that I appointed and that he led completed a study of campus safety, and they submitted a long list of recommendations at the end of that study. And we've been studying those throughout the year, having meetings with a variety of groups on them. And I am pleased to say that we're going to endeavor to address and implement each of those recommendations, at least substantially, over the next 3 years, with a major push this coming year. Addressing the recommendations is going to require new and dedicated funding. So I have met with the Council of Presidents. Now that's a group of student organizational presidents that have been developed and is convened by the SC President, Lauren McNeil, to review those recommendations and the challenge. Bob Adams and some other people met with them on another occasion. And I'm just so pleased to report to you that they were very supportive of proceeding with those recommendations and said that a student fee up to $25 a semester, I mean, this is my language, not theirs, but they wouldn't bat an eye at that. And if that would move the agenda forward, they certainly would support it. So we will be making a proposal for such a fee to the Board of Trustees at that meeting in May. And if the trustees approve it, next year you're going to see, I'm going to borrow a term from the Iraq War, there's going to be a surge on campus with regard to campus safety. You'll see more police officers, more bike patrols, more lighting. You're going to see a more manicured campus in the interest of longer and clearer sight lines for people as they move around the campus. That's part of the theory of crime, well, not so much a theory, but the approach of crime prevention through environmental design. So we'll be cleaning up particularly the eastern edge of the campus as well as a number of places internally, and all of those things will be helpful in changing the negative perception regarding safety. And I would add something that's in some ways not a new subject, but the Green Dot program remains a key part of our campus safety campaign. That's a program that trains faculty, and staff, and students so that they're prepared to intervene directly or indirectly when they sense the potential for violence or see someone in danger. And Green Dot carries an attitude of action with it, not being a passive bystander. And it's far in a greater sense of community on campus. I thank all of you that have played an important and leadership role in that over the last couple of years. I hope that more people will participate. The more that do, the stronger the message becomes that here at this university, we take care of each other. Student success, you hear that, and you're going to continue to hear that, and I want to address this sort of first, a kind of one aspect of student success, and in some ways it's the front end. It's the first aspect of student success. Each person, that means everybody sitting here today, each person at UALR can help or hurt our enrollment, which impacts our budget. I don't think I need to explain the relationship. It plays out in both tuition and also in the state formula funding that comes our way. Our interactions with students and family members while they are on campus and when they telephone for assistance will often be the determining factor in their decision to choose UALR or to choose one of the many other college options that are out there. So all of us must treat prospective students and parents like royal guests with a goal of having each of them admitted and enrolled before they leave the campus. We should resolve any issue they have that very same day. We should never tell someone to come back another day, and we'll see if we can take care of that then. We ought to resolve it the day that they are here. We should treat every guest exactly like we love being treated whenever we're doing business, whether we're shopping for a car, or setting up a bank account, renting an apartment, buying a house, seeking treatment at some medical facility, or trying to find the right college for ourselves or for our children. And this past Tuesday's orientation day, a valuable day, should be a lesson to us all. That was an opportunity for us to demonstrate UALR at its best. When they left, not all of the prospective students and their families had had a great experience that day. Our campus may not be more beautiful than the last one they visited, and some of our labs and our classrooms may not even be as nice as some of the high schools across the state of Arkansas today, given the funding that they have gotten for facilities. But we don't have a huge endowment or state funding that makes it possible for us to have a swanky place with flashy amenities. But we do have you. We do have you. And our greatest asset and strongest selling point should be the faculty and staff of UALR. Our enrollment total is up to you, the people who work here. And I say sincerely, and I believe you believe me when I say that I'm proud of the good people who make up the UALR community. I know that you take pride in your work and you care about student success. And your area of expertise or your area of responsibility, that's where you shine. And whether that be in teaching, in research, in community engagement, or campus programming, or in a multitude of other rolls across the campus. That's the case. At the same time, you should not lose sight of the fact that the people that we're here to serve are our students. So what I ask, and what I in fact insist upon, is that you show our students, their family and guests, the best of who you are. You are the reason students will choose UALR. Make sure every prospective student knows we want them here. It matters. Just last semester, let me tell you a story. A transfer student from out of state visited campus with her parents. She knew very little about UALR except an endorsement from an alumnus the family knew. She came here because of her interest in a specific program, audiology and speech pathology. She decided to enroll at this university because of the warm welcome she and her parents received while they were on campus. The department chair met with them. Well, that's status. Members of the department invited them to observe a class, and the admissions staff walked them through the necessary paperwork involved. Each person this student encountered during her campus visit could have been either an obstacle or a cheerleader and facilitator. And I ask that each of you decide every day that you will be a cheerleader and a facilitator for our current students as well as for our prospective students. Whether incoming freshmen, transfers from other institutions, or students returning to us after an interruption in their studies, we ought to treat them as royal guests. Let's treat them like we would like to be treated. What UALR has, I emphasize again, that nobody else has, is you. You will make the difference. Well, this is an important time in the life of a very important university, the University of Arkansas at Little Rock. And this year's been a time of big change. And quite candidly, it's not been an easy year for any of us. Every year is busy and hectic, and we feel burdened in a lot of ways. But I do think that next year there will be a kind of lower intensity. There has just been a very great deal of activity and action and high stakes activities going on. That's not going to be equaled again next year. So this has been a time of big change, but nonetheless it is coming to a close. Oh, and before I forget it, speaking of student success, I don't know how many of you visited the Student Research Expo earlier this week, but if you did and you spent a little bit of time, you could not have walked out that door without saying, we really have some fine students here at this institution. And I also want to say it was a pleasure for me to see that, because although there's been some of those kinds of experiences been available for students here forever, it's something that's becoming much more widespread now. More students are having that experience where they become passionate about researching things that, my mother and your aunt and, maybe some other folks in our family would think were the most esoteric and irrelevant things they ever heard about. But they're important, and these students are really into them and passionate and doing some really wonderful things. That was really a pleasure to see. And speaking further about student success, very soon we will be assembled across the street in the Jack Stevens Center for a very large end-of-the-year celebration with friends and families honoring the successes of our students. By the way, we have an event. In fact, I'll be hurrying out from it here in just a moment. The Academic All-Stars, sponsored by Arkansas Times, their annual reception where they have the ceremony for that group is here on campus, and one of those students will be coming to UALR next year. But in any event, graduating from college, which we're going to be celebrating shortly, is a significant achievement for every degree recipient. But for some of them who will be walking across the platform and receiving their diplomas next week, it is an enormous achievement that will benefit them profoundly and many others all their days. So how fortunate we are to get to work at a university, at a place which makes a difference in the lives of so many people year after year and after year. Thank you for all your contributions to the accomplishments this year, last year, next year, in the accomplishments of this university's noble mission. As we end this year and begin to look forward to the next, let me say that I look forward to working with you to build the university our students deserve and that the community and the state need, grounded here in the capital city, global in reach.
Well, thank you, Chancellor Anderson, for those remarks, and I was particularly pleased to hear you say that you don't think next year is going to be as intense as this year. I'm not sure I could take it. So anyway, alrighty. Well, we have room for an open forum, and I believe this is an opportunity for people to ask questions or make comments. Alrighty. Motion to adjourn would be the next item of business. All right, then we are adjourned.